Hi, this is Marcy Katz, CEO and founder of Bina Consulting. Today I want to talk to you about getting your career ready for a transition. And why do I want to speak to you about this? Well, there's a lot of information in the press these days about Heinz taking over Kraft. Companies are downsizing, people are losing their jobs. I was in the corporate world for many years. My job was affected by a restructure. So I've been there and I've lived it. And what I can tell you is this: over the past year and a half, many people have crossed my path who have either been downsized, restructured, lost their job for whatever reason. It's happening more and more often. And what I'm always shocked to find out is that the biggest trauma that comes from it is that people aren't ready. They're in denial, they've got their head in the sand, and they just don't want to deal with it until it comes and it happens to them, and then they're sometimes devastated. So I think one of the most important things you can do is really be prepared. Not because it might happen to you and not because you have a performance issue or maybe the company doesn't like you or the boss doesn't like you, but realistically, a lot of times it comes down to your a box that just gets crossed off. It gets eliminated. It has nothing to do with who you are, what you've contributed, or what you may contribute in the future. And I've seen people with 25 years of service coming up close to retirement and their job's just eliminated. There's no bridge, there's no nothing. And they just don't know how to carry on. They never imagined it could happen to them. There are people who are so devoted, they've given their blood, sweat, and tears. They've sacrificed their families, they've sacrificed marriages, they've sacrificed evenings and weekends, and they just can't get over it. And what I want to tell you today is that, you have to take control of your own life. You are you incorporated. And if you think about that and maintain your boundaries as an individual, providing a service to this company in return for whatever remuneration and whatever benefits and incentives that you're getting in return, that's an exchange. That's it. And if you want to love it, great. If you want to be committed to it, great. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And so somebody in a seat somewhere, either a board or a committee, somebody's going to make a decision about whether or not the box that you sit in as an individual employee working in that company gets cut or not. And I'm talking here strictly about restructures because I think people are being impacted by this more and more, and they're just simply not ready. So I want to try and help you overcome the trauma of that. And there are three things that I think you can do. One, I would say, don't think that it's not going to happen to you. I joked about it for many years. Oh, I hope it's me. I hope I get a package. And then the day came and it really was me. And I said, what? Me? I can't believe it's me. And I've heard similar stories from many people that it's happened to. So whether you want it or you think you want it or you don't want it or you think it's never going to happen to you, it can happen to you. And again, it has nothing to do with performance necessarily. It has to do with, whatever decisions are being made. So one is an awareness that yes, it is possible and it may be probable if there have been a lot of restructures in your company or even if they haven't. The bottom line is companies need to generate profit, they need to grow, and cutting headcount sometimes is the quickest, easiest way for them to do that. So it is a reality of the environment and it can very well happen to you. So one, get your head out of the sand and just be aware. Number two, get your resume up to date. How long has it been since you had a resume? There's all kinds of templates online, there's services that you can hire, but get your resume together because if something comes along, whether before something happens to you or after, whether you choose to take initiative and you be proactive about it, or you find yourself in a situation and you need it, you don't want to come at your resume from a place of emotional stress and turmoil. So in your resume, the one of the things that keep us stuck when a restructure happens, and I saw many people who were really, really bitter about it, and they couldn't get moving forward, and they couldn't find a job. And the thing was, they were stuck to the past. A resume is about your past. It's about what you did in the past. And yes, you need that information, but the purpose of it is to show the new company, the new employer, what you've done and what you can do for them. So I would say the quickest way to sort of detach emotionally, even if you're happy and even if you're in a good place, we're talking about getting yourself ready in case of a restructure or in case you lose your job or in case, if you choose that you want to move on. detach a little bit emotionally and get yourself in a state of readiness. So get your head out of the sand, be aware that it may happen to you or you may choose to move on at some point, and then get your resume ready. Be in a position of power. You want to write down what are the things that you've done, what results did you specifically achieve using the skills and talents that you specifically have. And the key here is the so what, right? And you'll hear my voice. Many people have said to me, oh, I hear your voice in the back of my head saying, so what, so what, so what? The so what is, it's not about what you did in the past. Yes, that's great. But that was for that company. And you know what? You're talking to me now, the new employer, and I want to know what you can do for me. And I don't care if my company is the same as that company. I don't want to know about that company. I want to know, what are you going to do for me, right? What's in it for me? And how are you going to move my business forward? And so it's important to focus on the specific skills and talents that you use that are transferable, the results that you achieved in the specific situation, and how specifically you can use that to help somebody in the new business and in the new environment have results that are successful. So you need to find a way to demonstrate that. And trust me, when you're in a position of feeling sorry for yourself, or you feel bad, or your self-esteem's not so good, or your confidence is shot because you're out of a job, you have to take care of a family, you need the income, whatever the case may be, when you are in that negative space, trying to get that positive energy and position things in that way is really, really challenging. So I would challenge you right now, take control, take ownership of it, and start working on it. The third thing is your network. Your network is so important, and I'm shocked. I'm going to post this on LinkedIn, and I know there's tons of people who I know and who you know in your network who are never going to see it because they're not on social media. So, okay, fine, you don't want to be on Facebook, but if you are in a career and you want your career to grow and you need to protect that career in case something should happen to it and you lose your job, your network is hugely important. And if you're not on LinkedIn, then you need to be on there right now. The technology is not scary. It's easy. You can call me. I'll tell you how to do it. I went from having 70 people in my LinkedIn network to I don't know how many there are now. And it's not about just the numbers. It's about really connecting with people that you know and making sure you know what they're doing and they know what you're doing. So if opportunities come up, you can connect with them. Really, really important. Think about all the people you know. Again, you don't want to be in a position where you're vulnerable. Do it now when you're in a position of strength. Do it now when you're in a position of confidence. If you do those three things, I guarantee that one, you'll either see, wow, I add so much value. I'm not getting recognized. I'm not being compensated here. There's no growth for me here. I'm going to proactively move on, and I'm ready to do that. Or you're going to feel much more comfortable, much more confident that you're in a place of power, and that if and when something should happen, a restructure, a change that you don't want or that happens to you without your choice, that you're ready. And you can deal with the emotional impact of it without having to deal with all this other stuff on top of it. Trust me, it will make a world of difference. I've advised many, many people who've gone through this process, and the ones who sort of wait until it happens, they say, I wish I knew this before. I wish I had done this before. I'm so not up to it. I just don't feel that way about myself. And it really takes a while to get going. If you're in a position where you can't afford that financially and you don't have that time to wait and your family needs you to get things moving, it is so stressful. So do yourself a favor. Please protect yourself. Be smart. Get your head out of the sand. Get your resume done. You can reach me anytime if you need some help with any of this. Marcy at binaconsulting.com, BINAH consulting.com. I hope you'll share this video with your friends, especially those who are not on LinkedIn. Encourage them to get on LinkedIn and just get their networks up and going and be ready and protected. Hope you have a wonderful day. Wishing you all the best of success.